so back. Where's my blanket? It's him. I live in the darkness. I'm prepared for spooky game. My game capture. Yeah, game capture. Why is it not capturing? There we go. We're continuing from where we left off. We just arrived at the mansion to investigate. What's his name? Something Hawkins? Walter White. Something else. I don't remember his name. And we have Officer Bradley with us to help us. Michael? No. Sarah Hawkins is the wife. I don't remember who the dude was. Enter the madness.
Well, here we are. Hawkins Mansion.
Charles Hawkins. That was his name.
The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
Spot hidden expert. Look at that. Thought the mansion burnt in a fire.
I see no scorched trees or fire damage on the building.
You're pretty damn observant, ain't you? The fire was quickly contained. Old Silas acted as soon as he could.
Not soon enough to save the Hawkins.
They were trapped in the drawing room. And don't go troubling Silas anymore. His guilt torments him enough as it is. Are we gonna take a closer look at this mansion, or do you have other questions?
You're not the first to talk about Winchester.
Your partner, Andrews, warned me against him.
You managed to get something out of that bum? I'll end up asking you for advice.
He talks too much. He inferred that old Silas was slightly unhinged.
That's not far off the mark, I suppose. But kinda unfair at the same time. You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family, so he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way, he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me? Or do you want to go up there?
No. You know the place very well.
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
That's why you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
Yes. If something escaped us, or if there's been a law enforcement error, then it's up to the police to make good its mistake. Anything else?
This guy doesn't sound too corrupt. place is falling into ruin.
You won't get me to believe that it looked any better 3 months ago.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
It's got nothing to do with Charles Hawkins' debts.
Ha! You've already begun to nose around, it would seem.
Oh, he didn't
So,
like that.
since you already know it, the Hawkins family couldn't afford the upkeep of this house.
I see.
It remains to be seen what they did with all their money. I wager it was Charles Hawkins' travels.
This guy was
Let's go up
rich
there.
before. What happened?
Unless you still have questions.
Hold up. One more question.
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
It's a wise attitude. But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
Could he be a problem?
Strictly speaking, he ain't dangerous. But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man doesn't worry me.
Gee, if you don't want to listen to my advice, we might as well go.
Yeah. Let's not
Night
waste any time.
falls quickly here, and I want to be able to see when we arrive.
I'll go with you, if only to reassure Silas.
Sure.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
Bro, it's like this place hasn't rained in years. And yet it's covered in clouds. That's not ominous. Statue of an angel in the middle of a courtyard.
Bradley was right. This place is much older than I imagined.
By a Reverend John Wickwood. Reverend is some like religious dude. Unless a Reverend was a first name back then. And John was his middle name. But that doesn't make sense. Oh, hell no. Charles.
Someone must really hate Charles Hawkins.
I told you. Silas Winchester is still watching over the Hawkins family.
I must say, it's pretty gloomy.
So, Detective, does this place inspire any thoughts?
Yeah, this place sucks, bro.
Do you know if Charles Hawkins had any enemies?
Not to our knowledge. He was a well-respected personality on the island. I don't understand. Silas would never have let such a thing happen.
What's he doing now?
Why were they buried here?
I was given to believe that it was Charles Hawkins' wish.
Strange idea. I imagine Webster wasn't too pleased.
Mrs. Hawkins' father? It's said that he's devastated.
Let's go to the mansion.
This place is sus, bro.
Please give me a minute. I didn't expect to set foot back here after the burial. What kind of deranged individual would defile this sanctuary?
Maybe it
Steal
was
a burnt painting.
Silas
I don't see
himself.
Silas doing such a thing,
Oh.
let alone allowing it.
Poor kid.
And that broad baker is above that. Lord, have pity on this poor family.
The flowers on Sarah Hawkins' grave are fresh. The old caretaker must be very attached to her.
Yeah, that's kind of sus. The old caretaker not care about freaking Charles? Also, 1883. Okay, that's like. Oh, this kid was like 10 and a half or something. Sucks to suck. This guy, he doesn't want to come with me. This is like very, very sus.
I'll have to find another entrance.
Why would they board up the main door, bro? There's a freaking dude working here still. Quote unquote working here. Even boarded up all the windows. Have some taste, bro. Could have been renovated. Guess nobody would really want to. Oh, dude, he left the lights in the car on. We're never leaving here.
This entrance is still in use.
Oh. Oh my god.
You are trying to force the door, you nosy prick!
Easy, sir, all right? Put down the axe.
You know what we do with rubble like you? We gut them. Dump them into the ocean.
Oh.
You're Mr. Winchester. Lower that axe. Let's talk calmly.
I'll show you how we have it out on dark water.
Well.
You haven't forgiven yourself. You stay here to honor the memory of the deceased.
That's true. I want no more violence. No more tragedy.
It's painful to be the last one left.
You don't know how right you are. Understood. I'm listening.
Oh,
The
you
police
still
report
know?
describes a domestic accident. But Stephen Webster has several reasons to believe that this may not be the case.
Webster is as stubborn as an old mule. And I did tell him that we should let the dead rest in peace.
He wants to restore the reputation of his daughter. I just need to see where the fire started.
No, I can't let you in. The mansion isn't safe.
That's why you barricaded the entrance.
That's right.
And this door?
It's locked. And I make sure it stays that way.
But if he's not, why use this door with the main entrance door, right? And if this guy put the flowers there, why were the flowers on Charles' grave freaking destroyed?
You still put flowers on her grave. You cherish her memory.
Mrs. Hawkins was an exceptional person. She cared for everyone around her.
Let me shed a light on what happened to her. Give me that key.
Gimme.
I'm probably making a big mistake, but it won't be the first. Here, take the key and do what you have to do.
Excellent.
Go on, then. Just to get rid of you.
Let's see what more I can learn from this man.
Silas Winchester. Occupation 64. Caretaker of the Hawkins property. The old caretaker of the Hawkins family, Silas Winchester, still watches over the family graveyard and the burned-out mansion. Devoted to Charles Hawkins, whom he all but raised, he also has great respect for the memory of Sarah Hawkins and their child Simon. His long months of solitude in the abandoned property have made him very distrustful. Silas still puts flowers on the graves of Charles, Sarah, and Simon. Well, ones for freaking Charles weren't well kept. Officer Bradley. This hick cop likes order and justice. He's no great sleuth, but he seems more inclined than his colleagues to discover the truth in the Hawkins case. The inhabitants of the island seem to be friendly with him. He could help me in the investigation. The Hawkins Mansion Gardens. The Hawkins Mansion is perched at the top of a steep cliff. The abandoned garden harbors the graves of the Hawkins family, and only the old caretaker, Silas Winchester, still roams this bleak spot. He protects it fiercely and still puts flowers on the graves of his old masters. It's a gloomy place. It's true. I have 4 points available. I can go... Ooh, put the points to eloquence. Professional speaker now. Just as in real life. Pretty cool. Submerged city. Oh yeah, this happened yesterday. While investigating the Hawkins warehouse, Pierce entered a partly submerged tunnel that ran under the docks. There, something took hold of his arm and tried to drag him beneath the surface. Drowning, the detective caught glimpses of human and animal bodies as well as an underground city. Pierce managed to make it back to the surface to discover that rather than tentacles, it was seaweed that had wrapped itself around his arm. The vision, nevertheless, disturbed him by its clarity and its violence. It was very, very spooky. We're on chapter 2, Hawkins Warehouse. Officially unused since Charles Hawkins' death, this warehouse recently housed a clandestine resident. Signs of life attest to the fact. The presence of blood-stained bandages must also be noted, probably removed from a wound, as well as pills, painkillers, and sleeping pills. Moreover, the occupant seems to be obsessed with Sarah Hawkins, as attested by the presence of several documents connected to the artist's life, a photograph, and a press cutting. But it is the discovery of a partly charred painting, recognized by Officer Bradley as having come from the Hawkins mansion, that allows all doubts to be lifted as to the link between the contents of this building and the Hawkins case. Yeah, somebody brought a creepy painting down to the warehouse for whatever reason. Kind of spooky. And this is the key to the tradesman's entrance. I guess we'll see what happens. There's a shed down there. I guess there's dark water.
Pierce, shall we enter? Now that you've finished your fun and games with Silas, we can perhaps inspect the mansion.
You're right. Let's go. Let's take a look inside.
I'm with you.
Pierce and Officer Bradley explored the gardens of the Hawkins mansion. The family lies on the graveyard of the property, guarded by Silas Winchester. The old caretaker, still faithful to his employers, keeps watch on the place, armed with his axe. Pierce and Bradley manage to calm him down and finally get hold of the key to the Hawkins mansion. They enter the building, looking for the scene of the fire. Spooky. Enter madness.
Follow me. I know the place. Who left this light on?
Yeah, who did leave the light on? Why are there roses on a tray? And rats. Is this... I don't even know what language. Put flashlight on face? I don't... Here, let's try this out. This'll be funny. That's not a good sound. Okay, this might unironically blind me. Oh, it's so bright. How does that look? It kinda hurts my eyes. I wish there was a lower setting on my phones.
The Last Supper of the Hawkins.
Ew.
What does this tell me?
Dude, that thing has eyes still. Matches with the aesthetic. Indeed.
What kind of meat is this?
What kind of meat is that? And a nice painting. I guess, isn't this like a sewn thing?
This place is for the head of the family, Charles Hawkins.
Doesn't look like the most agreeable person.
The boy was probably here. Smashed his plate on the floor.
Ew.
Sarah Hawkins didn't eat. Was it because of the meat, or something else? Something happened at this table. An argument?
Like, look at this thing, bro. That's freaking gross. At least they had biscuits and what looks to be clam chowder.
Hey, Pierce. Daydreaming again?
Working, officer. This dinner table tells us a lot about the Hawkins family life.
Well, we don't have all day. The scene of the fire is next door.
What is that his? No. So he ate a slice. Interesting.
Sarah Hawkins and little Simon. The perfect picture of the middle-class family.
Pretty sure if they owned a place like this, they were a little more than than middle class. He's a little toy soldier. Aww. I think that's just burn marks. Hold up, what's over here first?
Charles and Sarah's wedding was painted by Sarah herself.
Why is she in darkness? That's kinda like, guess it looks cool.
Was Charles Hawkins some kind of explorer?
Charles Hawkins poses like an explorer in front of exotic ruins. It is common knowledge that he wasted away his fortune on expensive trips. What was he looking for? I mean, go to the pyramids. It's pretty cool.
Let's see if I can find something the cops missed.
This place looks a little messed up.
Did someone escape the fire? The child's corpse left a trace. Where are the others? Did it stop at the time of the fire?
New clue memorized. Is that actually a clue? The glass of this clock is broken and the hands show 10 o'clock. Could be the fire or have nothing to do with it. Unlucky. A shoe.
Did Sarah Hawkins lose one of her shoes? How?
Yeah, how do you... Well, maybe. It's not implausible.
They had a fight. Why?
This...
Was Charles Hawkins a heavy drinker?
He's an alcoholic. An alcoholic who just runs around the world looking for something, huh? What am I missing? Oh, it's this.
If the painting I found on the docks really came from here, how come it didn't burn?
That is very sus.
Blood. This lamp was thrown. This was no accident.
Oh, God.
This was a fight. Someone fell here. A desperate attempt to flee.
Where's my helper?
And the boy.
So, Detective,
Oh my God.
what do you make of it?
I don't want to tell him that he did a bad job. The
Much
clues
of
don't
this
match.
evidence simply contradicts the investigation's findings.
Really? Tell me about it.
Yeah, the time didn't match.
I was under the impression the fire started around midnight.
Yes, Silas banged on our door around 1 a.m. Poor devil ran so hard he was almost belching his lungs out.
This clock burned before 10 p.m.
That's impossible. What you imply? Silas never would have hurt the Hawkins family. Besides, Dr. Fuller confirmed the hour of death in his report. Your clock must have already have stopped.
This guy, like, he's like gaslighting me. He's like, you're not right. That's impossible. How can you be right when somebody else said they were right? Who's the doctor?
Dr. Fuller?
A brilliant surgeon and a friend of the family. I'm sure he took the matter to heart. So, excuse me if I value his opinion over yours.
So be it. Let's move on.
Someone had too much to drink.
I found a bottle of whiskey. Empty.
Well, that must have been a loss for you.
No glass.
True.
I suspect one of them drank heavily to calm down. Charles, most probably.
That's pretty thin. Who says that bottle hadn't been there for a while?
Why would it be on the floor? Bodies were displaced.
I can tell where young Simon was, but not his parents. Where were their bodies found?
I can't help you on that one. Charles and Sarah's bodies had already been carried away when I got here.
Without your authorization. By whom?
Marshall, Andrews, Chief West. We never deal with cases like that, you know. So... well...
What? Marshall Andrews. Andrews was the guy at the docks.
It would seem at least one person fled the crime scene.
What you say?
That mark on the door. Someone's hand slid down there. The left side has no mark. The door was open and that someone left.
For God's sake. I mean, if it's Charles or Sarah, they wouldn't have left their son.
They would rather die in the flames as a family instead of calling for help? I don't buy it.
Oh, yeah?
Why is this guy so passive aggressive? The fire was caused by the lamp.
I suspect this lamp caused the fire.
That's what the investigation suggested, too.
But does your report mention the bloodstains? The lamp didn't fall, it was thrown at someone.
For heaven's sakes, no. The report doesn't mention that.
I firmly believe this fire was more than just an accident.
Huh. What's your theory?
I think the Hawkins couple got into a fight.
You sure of that?
There's only one way to be sure.
Uh-oh.
I just ask that you don't disturb anything. If Chief West found out about what we're doing, I'd be in serious trouble.
Well, they had a lot of books. Is this like fire down there? Oh. Me no likey.
This door is locked.
Where's the key, bro? This place doesn't look safe. I'm gonna be real. A history of medicine in the 18th century. This collection of medical knowledge and health practices in the 18th century actually only covers the so-called civilized countries. It does not deal with the influence of holistic medicines or medicine from continents considered inferior. Sounds like something they would write up in the 18th century. Very 18th century, if I do say so myself. Bandages.
These bandages are covered in dried blood. But whose?
But who?
The lyrics of the drunken sailor, a sea shanty.
I probably knew it by heart.
This door is blocked from the outside.
This is the main entrance. Why do they have a skull sitting on their table, bro? That's like... Is that a skull? Who goes? Okay, he's over there. I'm gonna go peep. Oh yeah, I can't peep upstairs. I guess I will go to him.
An original edition of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, dated 1818.
Interesting. Oh, no, 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 I hate those noises. Hello.
Moby Dick, Melville's classic.
Hmm.
The epic battle between man and whale. Mandatory reading for any whaler, I guess.
Checks out. So little. Oh.
This piano is in disrepair. Looks like the Hawkins kept it more for decoration than for music.
aesthetic piano. A little weird to keep like a crazy-eyed painting of yourself in your middle, in your what, your forum, your foyer. That doesn't look ominous at all. What up, bro? Wait, it's this. Oh no, it's not a skull. It's a nice little face or a vase.
A book on the first inhabitants of the island. It seems they got here around the 14th century.
The Human Body, a Comparative Analysis. A precise and very detailed treatise on the particularities of the human body compared to the animal world. The simplicity of its writing and the vulgarization of its vocabulary make it accessible to the profane. That's cause for concern. Medicine progression. Scene of the fire. Contradicting the police report, the Hawkins drawing room tells a totally different version of the fire that claimed the whole family, beginning with the presence of a handprint that throws up the possibility of a survivor. The bodies of Charles and Sarah Hawkins left no mark on the floor, nor to that matter in the drawing room, contrary to that of the child, still visible close to the fireplace. The same goes for the glass shards on the floor. A close inspection reveals the presence of blood on several of them. On the wall, the very clear mark left by the painting found in the Hawkins warehouse confirms that the Hawkins case could be much more than a domestic accident.
Greek mythology. Hecate, goddess of the dead, daughter of Tartarus, and mother of Scylla.
I can turn on the light.
Dark water history. This place was settled back in 1692 by two families that seceded from the New England colonies. A book on hunting whales, the island's staple diet last century.
Oh no, bro. That's not ominous.
There's something disturbing about this painting.
I agree.
20,000 leagues under the sea. Another story about the mysteries of the deep.
Can't go in there. I'm gonna go talk to him. This place has seen better days.
What do you know about Charles Hawkins' activities?
Well, not much, to be honest. We all assumed the Hawkins lived on Charles's inheritance.
Doesn't look like he had much of it left. Dude, I don't like this. This isn't even a painting. Why do I keep hearing like pitter patter of footsteps? That's a nice painting. Dude, I'm spooked. I'm getting. Oh, no, 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 no. I keep hearing footsteps that aren't mine.
Locked.
Oh, fuck.
The boys' room.
Oh, no, bro.
A child's fort. From what threat was Simon protecting his world?
The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
Tom Sawyer. Mark Twain. Sarah must have read it to him before bed. Sleeping pills. Strong for an 11-year-old boy. What was wrong with this family?
Oh my god.
What nightmarish vision could have inspired them?
What the fuck?
Simon's troubles went beyond family problems. That kid saw something.
Dude,
Something terrified him.
look at this, bro. This kid was messed up. New clue. The boys' room. In the little boy's room, an abandoned book on the bed and toys scattered on the ground talk about the everyday life of a normal family, but the disturbing drawings and the sleeping pills raise suspicions that even Simon Hawkins may have been suffering from mental illness. Was the boy able to see things like her mother pretended to be? Pretty sure if you